welcome to the Midnight Exchange. I am Zachary.
I am Mario.
And we are your hosts for the night. Well, we're your hosts forever, so.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's jump on into this. So, tell me about, you did 2 shoots before we recorded this. We're recording on an off night. Tell me a little bit about how they went.
The shoots?
Yeah. Give me some background. What'd you do?
Okay, so this weekend on Sunday, I was at my sister's house. We try to have family time on Sundays, if we can have it. Everybody's there. So it was like late, and I get a text like, for a last minute job, my contact was informed by their people that they could have a shoot on campus. So pretty much I had to like do a mad scramble to which wasn't that mad actually, but nonetheless I did have to get things in place, and thankfully availabilities were open for that day, and so pretty much just got a production ready in 12 hours.
That's always fun.
It was an interview job, so it was we used a couple lights. We used the C300, hell of a softbox light, really nice light. We used 2 1x1s, actually mainly 1 1x1. I don't think we used the other one. And then we used a hair light on most of the subjects, but it was a pretty good shoot. People were friendly. The subjects were willing and able, and overall just a pretty good first one. That was the first time I've worked with this particular client, so I think it went really well, and now we're just in post-production now, trying to crank out the edit for the end of this week. So overall it went well, man. Hoping for continued progress on that, and that could turn into something that's ongoing, to create like a little bit of a series to help their vision and promoting their foundation and whatnot. So
okay,
but that went well.
Awesome. All right, so where'd you end up shooting down there?
I was actually at a hospital campus, and it was their neonatal unit, so had to do a lot with where premature babies are pretty much nursed to health and taken care of. And so we're just it was shooting an interview subject on a miracle story that happened over there at this particular hospital. And
okay.
Yeah.
What was your experience shooting in a hospital? Was it very like busy? And I've done work in the hospital before, but not necessarily for production. It's been for
as last minute as it was pretty well put together. Yeah, I can't really complain. I mean, we pretty much made do with what we had, and we improvised where needed. We had an extra subject. Thankfully, it was a good subject that stepped in, and we were able to take care of that. And it's just a matter of just being conscious, because we're telling their stories, and it's important. The work that they're doing there is important. So really, it's just a matter of filming consciously, and obviously trying to film in such a way that you're not getting in the way of the work of the doctors and the nurses or anything like that. So we actually ended up running a lighting setup without running cables.
That's a feat.
So we just had battery powered connections to every single light, and we ran it like that. And that helped out a lot, because we weren't worried about taping down cables, or if there was an emergency. Thank God there was not an emergency while we were filming, because
that would have been terrible.
It would have been, I told the nurses, I was like, hey, if you need to like shove me out of the way and to do something, just go ahead, because what we're doing is less important than what you need to do. So don't feel like you need to tippy toe. Like, if you need to do something, just tell us and we'll move the heck out of the way. So, but no, everything was good. We actually didn't interfere with anything, and it was pretty well done. No complaints. We'll see. The edit's going well, and we're just want to crank it out, move on from it.
Awesome. And you didn't use all LEDs though on those lights. you use some?
No, it was
No. Oh,
all
well,
LED
you did do all LEDs.
all LEDs. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, seriously though, I do want to know how today went, because I've been hearing a lot more about today for quite some time. It got pushed back. You guys were you were supposed to shoot it on Friday, and then it got pushed back, and now it's today.
Well, to be fair, yeah, this has been in the planning more, but yesterday's shoot took literally the planning took place on Sunday night for 3 hours before we had to cancel the podcast recording.
I know. Yeah, we're actually recording on a Tuesday night right now.
Yeah, we're breaking
a little later than normal, so we're breaking the rules.
We're breaking the rules here, but no, this shoot was for a friend of mine, Giano, who's a composer, and a talented one. And we were just pretty much making a short film for his next composition coming out called Faced 2. And I kept on straight up screwing up the name today. I apologize to him. I kept on calling it FaceTime half the time. But,
FaceTime.
Yeah. But we've been prepping this for a while. And so the idea really has to do with the two faces of music, which is music has these two sides to it, a hopeful side and a more aggressive dark side, just two sides of the coin type of thing. Good versus evil. Not really evil. I may not say that, but light, darkness, that kind of two faces to it.
Major and minor.
Major and minor, exactly. And a big inspiration comes from Bach, and that's one of his biggest inspirations. And Bach was pretty much, from what I've learned, and I haven't done too much verification of this, but heard that he was pretty much criticized for playing darker sounding music.
Who Bach was?
Yeah, from what I've heard, which I kind of want to Google verify that right now. That might make for bad podcast radio. Was Bach persecuted for playing darker music?
Who's a? I don't know.
I can't confirm this, but I will off podcast.
Okay.
Anyways,
I've never thought about it like that, but continue.
Wait, thought about it like what?
Oh, well, I mean, I've listened to Bach before, but I've never sat there and listened to Bach, and I'm like, dang, this guy's just dark. That thought's never come across my mind.
He brawled with students.
Maybe that's where the problem came from. Guys, don't beat up your students. It's just teach them with knowledge, not iron fists.
Now I'm reading at some of these facts about Bach, and they're pretty interesting. Anyways, we had been planning this for a while. He had an idea. I rewrote the script for him. So it was a 3-man crew, me, him, and a friend of mine, Rico, who shot it. And we essentially had one location, and we had to replan it. So we canceled last Wednesday's shoot, and which was supposed to be at night. And we ended up moving the shoot to this piano warehouse in Miami called Victor's Piano and Organs, which has apparently been there for a long time. And we ended up renting the place out by the hour. Pretty sure that lady took us for a quick buck, because she started off with the price being $50 an hour, and it went up to $100 an hour real quick.
What?
Yeah. But
$50 for the first half an hour, and then $100 per hour after.
No, it's $100 an hour. That's exactly what it was. Nuts.
That's crazy.
Anyways, we got there today.
How long did you shoot though?
An hour. I made sure that we did it for an hour.
All right.
I told the guys, well, actually, we probably would have shot 2 hours if we met this guy there named Chris. And bro, Chris was he's eccentric, kind of an eccentric guy. I thought he was just like a maintenance guy.
Mm-hmm.
But then he went to the piano and started playing this honky tonk piano. Bro, it was masterful. I've never seen anything like it in my entire life. The guy is a piano savant. Just ridiculous. It's on my story right now, but it is absolutely absurd the way he moves his hands on that piano. It's crazy.
I saw a couple of the stories on your Instagram just before we started recording this. That was quite insane.
I've probably got like 20 DMs, just people just with their emoji with the mouth open, just shocked. Like, just, you look at this unassuming guy and then he just jumps on the piano and starts going, Elton John on it. It's crazy. But anyways, took us about an hour to shoot. Pretty cool location. Just imagine a warehouse with a bunch of new to old pianos, but kind of dingy looking inside. Mm-hmm. So it has that feel where you could imagine the setting being a vision, because it's supposed to be a vision that he's having. So the video is going to start with him in the studio playing, and he kind of goes into this trance-like zone where he's playing music in this warehouse, and it's dark. There's one light, and he plays, and somebody appears to him who's essentially the second face of music, and speaks to him and helps him find his way towards the inspiration for the composition that is phase 2. And so we have probably another night of shooting that we need to do, a couple of shots around the city, and the studio intro and outro of the video. Yeah. So, but yeah, today went well, and this is all part of the plan to have these passion projects that we work on while we're doing our normal jobs and our normal client jobs, that kind of stuff. So cool to mix these in.
For sure.
Yeah. But that's about it.
That's the first music video you're shooting now, right? Or is it?
I mean, the first for him, but but yeah, music videos are something that I've been looking into more and more recently, and I'd like to expand upon that. So I was having a couple conversations about that yesterday with a friend of mine, but we'll see where it goes.
All right. No problem.
How was your time? You went to North Carolina pretty much all of last week, right? For work. What were you doing up there?
So for my full-time job, let me see. I was there. I guess I left Monday. So I think it was like Friday. I found out that I had to fly up to North Carolina, around the Charlotte area up there.
So you found out pretty last minute too.
I found out very last minute.
The day before?
Well, I mean, I flew out Monday afternoon, like early Monday afternoon. But I didn't know I was flying until Friday. And then I didn't get my tickets until, I want to say Sunday, like Sunday night-ish. So I mean, I at least I knew I had enough time to prepare, but I didn't know when I was leaving until the day before.
Seats? Did you get to pick them?
Every time I get seats, I mean, they're already picked, and they always give you the option to swap, but it's like, why would I pay an extra $20 to swap from a middle seat to another middle seat? It's it's stupid.
Dude, I will always pay the money to upgrade my seat. Always.
I mean, upgrade your seat to what?
An aisle seat.
And an aisle seat.
And a preferred legroom seat.
There you go. I mean, if you can upgrade to an aisle seat, just go for it. But we're talking about literally, I'm in a middle seat, and it's like, hey, do you want to switch to this other middle seat for $25? Not really. Well, it's the same. It's the same thing. There's no difference between them.
I feel you there. I mean, then again, like for me, I don't know what the cap price would be on upgrading my seat, because as somebody who's 6'3", dude, a middle seat on an airplane for me is, shoot me, man. Shoot me if I got to sit on a middle seat on an airplane, because if I can't get like one leg out there stretching, it just, nah. I've paid over $100 to change my seat to an aisle seat, like in a preferred section. Yeah.
That's a little on the high end. I mean, I think it depends on how much you paid for the ticket.
If it's across, the country or to Europe, dude, I don't know.
That's a different story.
I would
maybe
pay in
pay
a couple $100. I'd probably go up over $300 just to upgrade my seat.
Look, you're talking about like what, a 15-hour flight?
Yeah, no. Comfort on the plane is just necessary, but I digress. I'm just waiting for somebody. Jeff Bezos, listen to this. Buy an airline, remove 10 rows, and give everybody some decent leg room. Why are we cramming honestly, into airplanes like pack rats? It's 2019, for God's sake.
It's terrible. Honestly, I would rather pay a few extra bucks for a ticket to fly on a plane that has less seats. It's too cramped. on the way up, not half. There was quite a few people that couldn't even sit in the seats. Like,
what?
Like they couldn't fit.
Oh, they're too fat?
I mean, without trying to sound rude, but yes, I mean.
Well, Zach, you can't say somebody can't fit in their seats and then not explain. Like,
yes, what? they were much too large for the seat, even the seat belt, mind you. Like they literally had to go get an extension for the seat belt buckle because it wasn't large enough.
That's embarrassing on the flight. I feel bad.
It is embarrassing. I feel bad. I mean, first of all, it's unhealthy to be at that weight anyways, but you're trying to cram so many people into a single plane that like your chairs can't even be any larger. So those two things just don't mix at all.
Well, let me say, arena seats and airplane seats, the width of those seats they're just not big enough, period. I gotta say.
No.
You know, can we all have our own armrest? Why do I gotta have like this fight with the guy next to me for this armrest every time? Like I gotta be elbowing him the whole flight.
I feel you. I was sitting at the Fort Lauderdale airport getting ready to board. Well, I mean, I was there like an hour beforehand, but there's some group of women with I guess they were like the moms of this married couple. I don't know. Anyways, they're all like sitting there complaining to each other, like telling each other, look, the moment you get into that plane, the first thing you do is grab both armrests. Because I don't know, I guess one of them had a bad experience where unfortunately she couldn't use her armrest. So she was very adamant and serious about grabbing the armrests and making sure that you got them before anyone else.
It's usually like a game of you're just wrestling for the armrest, the whole time. Nobody acknowledges this fight out loud, but no. I will shove someone out. I will. Look, how about this? This is usually what happens. You can either claim the front of the armrest or the back. You can have like your elbow towards the back, kind of tucked in, or you can have the front of it. You can have. There's compromises on the armrest that you can surely do. Another thing.
Yeah.
Those little trays to eat, terrible.
Yeah.
God. All right. Well, how was North Carolina aside from the flight?
North Carolina, it wasn't bad. Every time I go, I'm typically around Raleigh. That's when I go up personally. But I was up around Charlotte this time. So there's this little town called Elkin. It's literally a little town. I think it has about 4,000 people in the entire city. Yeah. But downtown's very small as well. I feel like you could walk all of downtown in about 5 minutes. Very, very small. Anyways, I found out last minute I was going there. Had to try and work with one of the clients there, which, overall it went great. I think we walked away from that accomplishing everything and a little bit more than I had set up as a goal. So that was great. I was glad once we got back, we were able to wrap up
part of this phase. Were you the lead on this trip?
Yeah. We brought in a product manager that we had working with us. So I was just guiding everything and making sure that we we kept on pace. We got everything we needed answered. We got all the extra information we needed, things like that. We needed to wrap up the prototype. And so we also needed to wrap up a lot of documentation, and that was just dependent on having fluid communication and conversations with the client there.
How did the client treat you?
Very well, actually. We went out to eat a couple times. We went out for lunch, I think, every
with
day.
The client
we were there.
Or with just
yeah,
with
with the client. No, I mean they treated us to lunch, which was nice. There's a couple. So there's not many places to eat there in downtown. I think there was like 3 key places, and it's kind of funny because it really feels like they all have deals with each other where it's like, all right, you know what, we'll be open Monday night and then we'll close every other night. We'll close Tuesday and Wednesday, and on those days you can be open on Tuesday, and then this other person or this other restaurant can be open on Wednesday. That's what it felt like. It was crazy. The night we got there, I mean, we finally got into town. I mean, it was already getting dark on Monday. So we went to this place called, I think it was the Angry Troll Brewing. So it was like a tap room brewery, and they had a little restaurant in there, but it was about the only thing open. Well, yeah, it was about the only thing open at that time. And it had some of the better ratings. So we went there, and we got really lucky with all of our food everywhere that we went. That restaurant we got there, the beer was half off.
How was the beer? What kind of beer was it?
I just got some English beer to see how it was.
Why? Because you were hanging out with somebody from the UK?
I was, but that's not why. They had some stouts there, but I wasn't too impressed with the stouts. And then they had like an IPA, and it was like a really, really, really fruity IPA. I think it was like pineapple, but it straight up tasted like pineapple. It was like,
did it give invasive species a run for its money?
Heck no.
No? Just for the listeners, Invasive Species is a local brewery down here in Fort Lauderdale that is wonderful and undiscovered. So it's kind of not undiscovered, but it's chill enough that it hasn't been ruined yet.
It's not like a downtown,
it's dark
bar
nice.
or anything where you just got people coming in and going out the whole time.
It's a great place. Great place.
Not
really, one of the go-tos down here.
So, anyways, went there. The food wasn't bad, but it was taken. Oh, and it was half off, if I didn't mention that already. So the food took a little too long to get there. So they ended up bringing us another one on the house. And then they forgot the fries. So we got some free, like a massive order of fries for free. So I was definitely full after that. And then the next day,
nothing like French fries in this world, Zach.
Dude, French fries are like the best thing ever. It's always the safest thing to get anywhere you go. French fries.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't cook a good French fry, you can't cook anything good. If you mess up potatoes, that is the barometer of success for a restaurant. You can't cook a potato, you can't cook anything.
Yeah, I can second that. I don't think I've ever enjoyed a restaurant that's cooked a bad potato.
No, think about it.
I mean, even like wedge fries, if you're going to do wedges, like they've still got to have some crunch to it. They can't just be like this dry lump of potato.
Yeah, you can't have a dry wedge.
Yeah.
You need a properly seasoned wedge. I don't care for the crunch. I like soggy fries. Like the soggier, the better. But,
You got to be kidding me.
I'm not kidding.
Why do you like soggy fries?
I like fat French fries, bro.
I like a fat French fry, but I want some like crispy ends or something. It's gotta have some. It can't like just flop around. If you hand me a floppy French fry, I'm just gonna throw it back at your face.
I'll take all floppy French fries up in here. Straight up. Like, look, Wendy's, the downfall of Wendy's, and maybe their sales are up, but I don't know. When Wendy's had their old fries, my God. Anyways,
their old fries.
What was the best meal? Because honestly, food is the most important thing when you travel. So what was the thing? What was the thing? Was there anything?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I liked, so downtown, well, it's all downtown. There's this restaurant called, I think it's called the Reves, and it actually used to be a really old movie theater that was run down, and they've got money together and fixed it up. And the front of it's like this little restaurant, and then if you go through the doors into what would have been the showing room, they changed that to like this whole sound stage. So they've got like a front of house system in there for all of the audio, lighting, and everything.
In the restaurant?
It's pretty cool, yeah. But the week we were there is the first week that this restaurant was releasing this new burger that they had, right? So the whole restaurant, it's all farm to fork.
I'm invested in this story now.
Everything is really fresh. So new burger. I was like, all right, you know what? We're here. I'll give it a shot. Got the burger. What was it? It was like I feel like there was a couple different cheeses on it. I got some bacon on that too. The burger, I mean, there's a lot to it. Anyways, that had to have been one of the best burgers I've had in a while. Okay. To have a burger that was that flavorful and not greasy. So it wasn't dry, but it was not greasy like at all. It was just I don't know how to explain it other than tasting fresh or without making it sound gross. It was a moist burger without grease.
I'm in the mood for a burger now. Damn.
Dude, I would eat that thing again if I had it right in front of my face.
Yeah,
that was good. And then the other night we went to this other place called Southern on Main, and they
now that place, that's a good name right there. Southern on Main.
Yeah, it's not a bad name. We went there. Okay, so when we went, let me go back. Tuesday, we went to Reves for lunch, and then we went to Reves for dinner because we didn't know where else to go, and the place we went to before was closed. And then the next day,
they needed Reves to have some business. So
yeah, exactly. And then the next day, we went to Southern on Main for lunch. Got some Brussels sprouts, which were pretty fire, and then some fried okra too. And then that night, we went to the same place again.
You went to the same place 3 times in one day?
No, not 3 times in one day, just 2 times. We went to Reves for lunch and dinner Tuesday, and then we went to Southern on Main for lunch and dinner on Wednesday.
Oh man!
We went. I got some pork meal, and it had I want to say it was like pickled cabbage or something, it was actually pretty good.
Okay, you almost lost it.
Not sauerkraut, but I don't know. It had to have been something along the lines of pickled cabbage and pork with cranberry sauce. It was good. But
that sounds good.
Yeah, that was that, and the burger, I think, were 2 of my favorite meals there. Everything else was okay, not bad, not like amazing, but definitely not bad. Other than the first night, that it wasn't that great. Burger, I wasn't extremely impressed. I actually burnt my mouth like so badly with a jalapeno popper. They were these massive jalapeno poppers, and they did not look like they were that hot at all. But you bit into it, and the moment you bit into it, it was like this volcano erupted in your mouth.
Why? Because of the cream cheese? It's just like,
oh man, it was literally like boiling. It wasn't even steaming on the outside, but you bit into it, and it was boiling on the inside. I literally had dead skin on the roof of my mouth for a little bit.
That's better than what happened to me in high school. I was eating a Hot Pocket. And if you heat up a Hot Pocket,
that already hurts my soul.
You bite into a Hot Pocket, and like for some reason the Hot Pockets are never fully sealed all around the Hot Pocket. Some of that cheese got on my lip. Dude, that thing burned the living existence out of my lip.
Did you? I had
a burn. Yeah, kids in school thought I had herpes for like a solid week. And I was like, guys, I kind of just rolled with it because it's almost less embarrassing than saying you burned your lip on a Hot Pocket. So I just kind of how do you...
That's a stretch.
Yeah, so.
That's amazing. Terrible. Sorry about
it. Was it a Hot Pocket? It was either a Hot Pocket or a Pizza Pocket. You know those little pizza pockets?
I mean, they're the same.
Oh my goodness. It's like, and then if the cheese gets to you and sticks to you, you need like a pressure hose to get that off your face. It's terrible. Anyways. Yeah. So,
Yep.
well, I'm glad you had a good time in North Carolina and the client was happy. And
Thank you.
nice, man. Very nice.
It's been a busy week. Got to try and kind of bring it down a little bit and relax on this week. So, are you watching anything interesting at the moment?
Am I? Well, I'm watching a couple of things. I did watch Tarantino's new film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, I need to go watch that.
Excellent. I mean, I'm not just saying that because it's Tarantino. I don't like all of his films. I do like most of them.
Lies.
I do like all of them, but
exactly.
But I do like some way more than others. I'm also watching a German show called Dark, which
dude,
you may or may not know about.
I know about that one. That show is phenomenal. If anyone listening, if you're gonna watch the show, do yourself a favor though and watch it in German. Just read the subtitles. The audio is so worth it.
You're a sound nerd, so, and it does sound incredible. I mean, don't watch it at night unless you're brave, but because the score will just give you nightmares alone.
You should watch it at night. It builds character.
I have a feeling that this show came out around the same time that the movie Arrival came out, because the scores feel so similar to me. Like the way the composer scored these different scenes.
The movie what was Arrival about?
Aliens arriving.
Oh, wait. That was the one that had to do with AI, right?
No. That's the one with the pods that land on Earth. Dennis Villeneuve's in it, Jeremy Renner.
Okay, why am I not remembering this?
Who's the girl in it?
God, Arrival.
I'm blanking out. It's not Anna Kendrick. It definitely is not Anna Kendrick. Who's the girl?
I'll tell you in like 2 seconds.
Who's the girl? Yeah.
Yeah, Amy Adams.
Amy Adams. Anna Kendrick. Of course, it's not Anna Kendrick.
No.
No offense to Anna. It's not. No offense at all to Anna Kendrick. It's just I've never seen her do a movie like that.
It's just not Pitch Perfect. I mean, why would she be in it?
You didn't have to do that.
No, I'm just joking. Oh, anyway. That was the one where she was trying to talk to them. Right?
Yes.
That movie was great.
That movie is great. Yeah, it is. So, the theme of this show and a lot of the score feels like The Arrival to me, and also has this really dark Stranger Things type of vibe to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
This random town in the middle of nowhere that has plants in there, and and there's like this section of the town that has these elements to it. Yeah, it has a very Stranger Things vibe to it, but way more dark. Unintended, I guess.
It's like the adult, well, not the inappropriate adult version, but the adult version of Stranger Things, perhaps. Shall we go that far? Okay.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm like episode 5 right now, so things are getting pretty interesting. They just introduced somebody key, and I won't go into it too much, but
yeah, no spoilers. You're still in the first season, all right?
Yes, first season still.
They just released the second season. I've got to rewatch. I've got to rewatch the first season before I go into the second one. I at least have to have a refresher.
Yeah, no, it's been a pleasant surprise. A friend of mine got me into it. Yeah, but going back to the Tarantino film.
Yeah.
Seeing DiCaprio and Brad Pitt on screen together is one of the most fun things. It's one of the most interesting things I've ever watched in the movies. It's just fun to watch it, honestly. Like that kind of greatness on screen at the same time is just, it was awesome. And honestly, I don't know if Tarantino did this on purpose. I've watched so many interviews on this film before I went to watch it, and he talked about it being a love story to Hollywood, and it was. But more going into Brad Pitt's character and Rick Dalton and Cliff something. I forgot what Cliff's last name was, but showing how DiCaprio's this actor trying to transition the middle point of his career, and Brad Pitt is this go with the flow type stuntman who just lives every day, one day at a time, one moment at a time. It's kind of like we glorify the actor and like the life of the actor. And we're like, man, the life of the actor's got to be so interesting. And so Rick Dalton, DiCaprio's character, is this Western. He gets typecasted as a Western star, pretty much.
That's interesting.
He's essentially, he's playing the villain. He's getting typecasted as the villain in a lot of things, and it's concerning him. And and meanwhile, there's like no demand for Brad as far as for Cliff being a stuntman. So his work is really going down the tube. But he's pretty much, while also a stuntman, he's also kind of the assistant and / best friend of Rick Dalton. And it's almost like Cliff is living his own Western off the set, while DiCaprio is living a fake Western on set and trying to be in character for that. But there's a particular scene where Brad visits, he actually picks up this hippie chick who wants to sleep with him, but he won't sleep with her because he doesn't know what age she is. She's not over 18 apparently. Ooh. And so he goes and drops her off because these hippies have invaded this old man's property that they used to film Westerns at. And he's like, does so-and-so still live there? She's like, yeah, we take care of him. And he's like, well, I'm going to come pay him a visit. And so he goes into this hippie-infested commune, whatever. Anyways, everybody there is trying to avoid him seeing this old man. And he pushes through like an old-style Western star who is going into the town where he's not welcome, where the bandits are at. And then it's kind of cutting back and forth between him and where DiCaprio's on set and he is the bad guy about to get into a shootout, and it's doing that sort of thing. And I just wonder if it's kind of like that juxtaposition where Cliff is the actor in real life. He's the leading man in real life, even so much so like when the climax of the film, which is the Manson murders, are like about to happen. Brad is the leading man who is most involved in the attack, and I won't go into what happens because the movie is relatively still out, and you haven't seen it. But
I haven't seen it yet.
Ultimately, it's probably my second favorite Tarantino film, and I definitely need to go watch it again. I'm probably gonna go this week to watch it one more time.
Okay,
but
so this is one I should definitely see in theaters if I can.
You should see every Tarantino film in theaters, and if you can, as it's how it's supposed to be seen in film, but it's tough to find that down here.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's places in LA that do it, but not as many down here.
It's not quite as common down here.
Hold on a second. Get a sneeze out.
Bless up, bro. Bless up.
Aside from that, what are you watching?
Honestly, I mean, I haven't been able to watch anything yet this past week. I've literally been out of town all last week. I've been working since like 7:30 in the morning till 3 in the morning the next day for the most part. So it's, I've been a little cramped on my schedule.
Man, you're telling me you don't got like 30 minutes before you go to sleep? You just open up the laptop, open up some Netflix, and
not even Netflix. I mean, I'll put like YouTube on in the background while I'm going to sleep.
What are you watching on YouTube?
Just watching some I don't know. There's a show called Veritasium, and then there's another one called Vsauce. They're just like these random. I don't know. Have you ever seen them?
No. So explain it.
So, they always have these topics, and like 90% of the time, I want to say it's about some science or some I don't know, some I don't even know how to explain it. They're so every episode is different. It's like one day you could be talking about radioactivity or radioactive items or areas, and the next day you could be talking about how some device rolls a certain way and then rolls back to you, and then the next episode or next show is like how particles bounce around and break. It's called like CPT. I don't remember what it stands for, but they were going into how if you like were to look at the universe and put a mirror up and look at that, how could you, or not even how, they were trying to determine if it was possible to tell if you were in the mirror or if you were like the original source based off the direction that the particles shoot out. I don't know, what was it, like a neuron or something? No, I don't think it was a neuron, an electron in a certain direction. And it was based off of probability and things like that. And you'll really have to go watch it. Maybe we can. I'll link the channels in the show notes. But that's really all I've been watching.
Sounds interesting, man. I mean, granted, when I'm decompressing, I tend to watch more on the narrative side rather than on the explain this type of educational stuff, but I could definitely get into that. It sounds like good watching while you work type videos.
I don't even know though. I mean, it's very entertaining. I feel like if I watched that while I worked, I would be too focused on like what they're trying to say, because it kind of provokes you to think a little bit about things and how they work. So I don't know why I just seem to end up watching them before I go to sleep. It's probably the absolute worst time I can watch that, because then I'm kind of thinking about that for like the next 20 minutes and it just keeps me up a little bit. But they're so dang interesting, man. They're so interesting. I'll link them in the notes. I'll send you the links as well so you can take a look at it. But that's about all I've been watching recently. Okay. All right. Let me take a step back. I have had a little bit of time to watch Friends, which I was just talking to you about a little bit ago, and you're not a Friends guy. So apparently we have two sides going on here. I'm a Friends guy, and what do you watch?
I'm a Seinfeld guy.
Okay, so we got Friends and we got Seinfeld.
Yeah, no, Seinfeld is it's superior to Friends.
That's just because you haven't watched Friends.
I have watched Friends. I've seen pretty much all of Friends. Seinfeld is superior. Friends.
You know, I'm not gonna argue. I haven't watched much Seinfeld, honestly. And I never used to be into Friends when I was younger, but I think over the past few years, it's just like you watch it a little bit and then you kind of get into it, and then you watch it a little bit more. And you just keep getting a little deeper into the show. Yeah, then you end up liking it.
Yeah, I mean,
or you're just a loser hilarious. And you don't like it.
The show's hilarious. I love Friends. I'm just saying, like Seinfeld. if it's on TBS and I could choose, like every time it comes on, it's like, hey, do you want to watch Friends or do you want to watch Seinfeld? I'm always choosing Seinfeld. That's just what's happening.
Okay.
Most of the time.
All right.
Aside from that, let me also say that I am so excited. August has blessed me this year.
It's your birthday, right?
Our many listeners always know, because they mark it on their calendars every year. It's the most excited year. My bad, I can't speak. It's 12:30 and I'm like jumbling my thoughts right now. It's the most anticipated day of the year, the day of my birth. But that is not what's made this year's August special.
No.
Of course, people do love that, but
I have a countdown on my phone.
Mindhunters and the return of David Fincher on August 16th, the day before my birthday. Peaky Blinders, season 5 on August 25th. And last, and certainly not least, Justin Vernon dropping another Bon Iver album August 30th.
You're having a good month there.
Come on. I sound like I'm at Vu Church. Come on. Anyways.
Someone in the background should just be clapping right now for that one. The Bon Iver album.
Yeah. Oh, man, let me just. Tommy Shelby coming back, man. I'm excited. It's just it's going to be a good 3 weeks coming up. Good 3 weeks.
I think so too. You're gonna have to release the music video this month too. Add another item to the list.
Damn it. Well,
shoot it, cut it, wrap it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see when the next shoot day is. I would definitely like to get that out by the end of the month. But you're gonna be the editor on that, so definitely, Zach. Pressure's on.
Shut up. No, yeah, but the Bon Iver album, it had been a while since I listened to him, but on the flight up and the flight back to North Carolina, I was listening to it.
Of course.
It was good. It's good.
It's the best travel music. Bon Iver,
dude,
man.
I know. I downloaded the previews from the newest album that's going to release. I downloaded the 2 most recent albums aside from that, and listened to that on the ride. Very good. Very good.
We're both big podcast listeners. You listening to any podcast now?
I'm listening to a lot of podcasts, honestly.
What's the one? What is the one that if I had to tell you, you got to delete everything off your podcast for the next month, but you can only listen to one podcast? Which one are you keeping?
Would do that to me. You see, I'm so torn because I have.
You can keep 2.
Okay, all right, 2. I would probably keep the.
I'm doing that selfishly because I can't delete 2 of them. So.
I would probably have to keep the Design Better podcast from Envision. I just like the production quality on that overall is really good. And I think they have a lot of good guests and topics and things like that. And then if I had to keep another one, there's an interesting one called 99% Invisible. And I was just talking to you about that the other day. And
another science one?
No, it's not science. No. But they take, like, if you look at the world, there's so much that just goes on and like you don't notice it, like you don't even think about it. So they take
99% of it.
Exactly. They take like the 99% of things which are invisible but happen all day, every day, and you never know about it. And they break it down. Like they take such incredible topics. I can't name any off the top. Well, no. So there was one top. I for some reason I can't find it, and I'm pretty sure it was a 99% invisible one. But they were talking about recycling and the whole process of that, and what goes on, what used to happen, and now that China doesn't buy our recycled stuff anymore, the process has kind of been breaking down. Costs have gone up. Things like that. But it's not all about trash and recycling. That was just
recycling. I'm about to say that's a heck of a niche. It's a heck of a podcast niche.
It's definitely not.
We are the #1 podcast about trash on Apple Podcasts and wherever you listen to podcasts.
No.
And this podcast is brought to you by the Cash App. That's a Joe Rogan thing.
No, we are not sponsored at all. No, this is not by the Cash App. Not yet. Not yet anyways. No, they've got a lot of different stuff.
Let me interject. I love when Joe Rogan just pops in with this. And this podcast is brought to you by the mother bleeping Cash App.
That reminds me. The client from North Carolina sent me an email. When we were up there, we got talking about all of this crazy new stuff. Speaking of what, I don't even think I've talked to you about it yet. The Neuralink from Elon Musk.
You did it? You installed it?
No, we were talking about it. Have I? Oh. I haven't talked to you about that yet, have I?
No.
Okay, we'll have to save that for another podcast because that could be a massive rabbit hole. Okay, Like we could probably talk for like another hour just on that. So we're gonna say that.
All right, okay, we'll save the Neuralink.
We'll say that for now. Anyways, we started talking about the Neuralink, and we started talking about all this random tech stuff. She sent me a Joe Rogan podcast, which I haven't listened to yet, with what's his name, Andrew Yang.
Oh, the political candidate.
Yeah. He's a Democrat. I think he's running.
The guy who wants to give $1,000 to everybody. Yeah, in the country
that guy. It's crazy. So I don't know about that, but
what do you mean you don't know about that?
I just started listening to the podcast. $1,000 that popped into my head randomly because you mentioned Joe Rogan, but he seems like a smart guy, but I don't know about
Joe Rogan or Andrew Yang.
Andrew Yang. I mean, but I wouldn't even say like a politically smart guy. He's a technical person.
I say we have a podcast about you can be smart and have dumb ideas, of course.
Exactly.
I mean, $1,000 to every person, no questions asked, every month.
That's a lot of dang money. I mean, how many people are in the U.S.?
I don't know. If you Google it and multiply by, find out how many over 18-year-olds there are. And I think it's 18, or I think it's 18 or 25. I don't want to misquote the guy. He looks like a nice guy. I'll tell you, he's probably, out of all the people I'd have a beer with on the stage, I'd probably have a beer with Andrew Yang first. I
mean, I'm curious to hear.
I would have a beer with Bernie, but I'd be afraid that he'd take half of it. So,
yeah, and once he kills you, he'll take the other half.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's, what is it? 329 plus million people in the United States. So we'll say about 300 million. So you're literally going to take 300 million.
Ain't no way 300 million and only 29 million are under 18. There's no way. That can't be right. All I know it's a buttload of money.
No, I know. I mean, this is going to be a little bit more because we're just talking about the total amount of people.
Mm-mm.
I don't know, but I mean, even if it was only 300 million people, that's what, $300 billion a month.
I think more.
100,000 million. No, I think I did that math right. It's late. I've got 3 commas.
My calculator doesn't go that far. Let's leave it at that. So it's a lot of money. So what about that guy?
I don't know. You mentioned Joe Rogan, and it's late, and that just popped in my head that I was just watching that. I started watching it just before we started recording this.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, I haven't gotten too far. I just got into the. They just started or finished talking about people who drive trucks, like tractor trailers, for a living, and how they. Okay, so the reason I'm kind of interested in what they're talking about is simply because they're talking about job automation. So if you drive trucks for a living, that's probably going to be one of the first jobs to actually be completely automated, to where, I mean, it's an irrelevant position seemingly within a decade. I mean, you've got Elon Musk releasing a Tesla version of a tractor trailer. You've got other companies like Amazon testing out these automated systems to just, drive and transport trucks. And I mean, you're not going to be able to compete with that as a person.
I personally feel that until that technology is 100%, like where you are not, there's no accidents on the road. They should not replace the trucking industry. Instead, they should utilize the trucking industry and put the drivers in the truck to monitor the self-driving truck, pretty much.
Well, that's what he was talking about. So, like, the replacement of that would come in phases. So the first step would be to basically take them out of the driver's seat and put them in the passenger seat, so that they're in the truck monitoring everything, and they can just take control immediately if the truck is, I don't know, not doing something. And then they were kind of talking about the next step, and the next thing that the companies like Amazon are looking into is, I mean, you know how we have drones now that can fly themselves, but we can remotely like kind of beam into the drone and take control of the drone and fly it around, like for military use. Mm-hmm. Kind of having something like that, so where you have like a center of people that like their job is like to beam into a truck, take control of the truck until it gets back on the track, and the truck feels confident enough that it can resume self-driving again.
The truck has self-esteem?
What?
The truck has self-esteem?
Not self-esteem. Confidence.
You said if the truck felt confident enough. So.
It doesn't have self-esteem, but
all right, my bad. I did it. You know, it can happen.
No, I mean when you're dealing with probabilities, I guess you can figure out how confident a computer is on their answer.
Sorry to derail you. I saw the opening for an easy joke and I took it.
Anyways, yeah, so that would be like the next step before completely removing them. And I have not fact checked any data yet, but according to him right now, we're at like 98% success rates on all automated self-driving. However, even though 98 sounds like it's high, that 2% is still a massive number for failure. So 98% is not high at all. And you're never going to reach a true 100%. I mean, you're probably going to end up looking at like 99 point something percent. Like that's what you're going to cap out at, because there's always going to be that chance of failure.
Would you be more mad? Be perfect. Would you be more mad if you got hit by a self-driving truck or by a truck being operated by a truck driver? Like would you be more mad? Like if you're like critically hit by a self-driving truck or by a truck being driven?
That's a very interesting question. I feel like
if you're in the hospital and I'm like, hey, you got hit by one of those Tesla trucks.
Okay, all right. So let's think about this logically for a minute. If you have a self-driving truck like that, it's for a big corporation. You know they have insurance. So, well, I mean, it's even a regular truck is going to have insurance. Yeah, I feel like I would. Honestly, I feel like I would be more annoyed about the person hitting me.
What?
Honestly,
are you crazy?
Because I would be thinking, okay, if you're a person, what the hell was going through your mind? Like, were you just texting on the phone? What were you doing to cause that? Whereas if it was a computer,
oh, poor computer, you're not human.
Well, I mean, that's not why. It's not because it's like, oh, you're not human, whatever. I don't know. I feel like I place. Hold on. Let me word this. Let me word this properly, because I have a good reason for it. I value the actions of humans more than I do computers. Therefore, if a human messes up, I feel like I would be more aggravated at the human because I hold them at a higher level than a computer.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Would you be more upset if you got in a car accident or if your self-driving car got you in a terrible accident?
See, now we're talking about ourselves here. If it's my vehicle,
would you rather get in a car accident?
I would rather
at the cause of a self-driving car. How about this? You're gonna have to die in this accident.
Okay,
are you gonna
die?
You know, putting off the heavenly bliss, you have a moment of anger. Are you gonna be more okay with dying that it was your fault, or that your self-driving car ran you off the side of the Pacific Coast Highway into the ocean? Like,
I would be much more okay with dying at my fault in that case. So there you go.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's such a difficult question to answer. I'm assuming
really not. Imagine you're taking a nap in your sleek Tesla.
Not that one. The first question you were asking.
Off of the side of the Pacific Coast Highway directly into the Pacific Ocean. You're gonna be so mad in those 2 seconds that you're falling down that cliff. You're gonna be like, "Damn, I would have just driven that gas guzzling Ford. I would have been
I don't drive a Ford.
Whatever." Anyways,
I would be more annoyed if my own computerized vehicle killed me, but I feel like I would be more annoyed if a person wrecked my car.
It's all right. The third scenario. Would you be more upset if your man-controlled spacecraft, like, pretty much caused you to have to drift in space until you ran out of resources, or would you be more upset if your AI that's assisting you on the spacecraft goes rogue and won't open the airlock doors for you to enter in after you've just gone on a repair to fix the satellite?
What kind of scenario is this? Oh man,
I'm gonna be so hella pissed if my AI goes rogue in space. At least if the spacecraft malfunctions, like, just normally, then I'd be like, oh, it was my choice to come to space. But, like, there's nothing wrong with the spacecraft. But this damn AI won't let me back into this shit.
I would be very aggravated with the AI at that point because the danger is more immediate. Although if I'm in space and I have an AI controlling the whole ship for me, I would be very mad at the creators if they didn't already have a robot with AI that could have just gone and fixed the damn thing itself.
99.7% perfection rate.
Something like that. I feel like you would be down to mechanical failure instead of a actual computing error.
Got it. Just wanted to know where you stand. So cool.
My opinions may change if it's not 1 a.m. It could be different if it was 11 a.m.
Hey, well, Jeff Epstein's dead.
Yeah, I got one question for you.
What?
Murder or suicide?
That's a dangerous question, bro. Dangerous question. I don't know. It sure feels like some fishiness was up there, but then
it does.
Look, he had it like on one choice: rat or kill yourself. Pretty much, those are like the two for him. I mean, for him, type of But I guess he could have. There is obviously a third option. Let me not say that he literally had to kill himself, but prison would have been a very difficult journey for someone like him.
That's
I think he was assaulted. Right?
Probably.
Anyways, I find it. I heard something that they left him alone for very long periods of time.
Much longer than he should have been left alone.
And especially for somebody who supposedly has, and he does, it's not supposedly, has information on high-ranking officials around the world.
Yeah.
It's very peculiar to have him in such loosey-goosey coverage. You should have a camera on his cell at all times. And
well, they did have a camera on the cell, but it was shut off or something. They don't have any footage.
Is that confirmed? Because William Barr right now is being pressured by the masses to investigate this thing, and he already reassigned the warden. Yeah,
he already reassigned the warden, and they put two people guards. On leave or something like that.
Yeah.
I from everything that I've heard, there was a camera on the cell. They can't get any or find any footage from that camera. That alone is suspicious enough. On top of that, he was initially in a cell with another person.
What?
And then I believe he had a companion in the cell. And then I guess that person was removed. And then, I don't know if they were removed or not.
Is that person named
aside
William?
I have no idea. He was
Was
on
he
suicide
also-
watch, is what I heard, and then he was taken off of suicide watch. So you have someone taken off of suicide watch, which means the rounds are going to be lessened. You have somebody
Who
who
takes someone off suicide watch in prison?
I mean, I guess you
They're
think
gonna-
that, oh, no,
Like
fine.
they're gonna wait just long enough to stop watching them and try it again.
Yeah, I mean, if that was my goal, that's what I'd do.
How
But
do you even? I guess there's. I don't want to go into that dark.
Here-
but
here's the other thing. I mean, in my opinion, Epstein is not a person who would go down without bringing everyone else down with him. So the fact of or the idea of him actually killing himself, I find odd.
what are the odds
It
that
just
if
seems
he,
wrong.
if he didn't, that it'll actually come to light? It's just like it's too convenient, man. It's just way too convenient that he did kill himself. It's like a meme on Daily Wire that shows justice, and it's like on the other side of this huge damn wall,
Yeah,
and literally damn wall, not like a damn wall, but like a damn wall.
yeah.
And there's just water. It's about to come pouring down, and it's just Epstein's suicide. I think was the wall, and from justice raining down upon all of the people who undertook like, criminal behavior with him. But like it's all there on the bottom of the dam. It's pretty good, but
It's
you know,
about to break.
justice is in the hands of the one above. So,
I haven't had a chance to fact check this yet, but I have heard that I guess Epstein's lawyer has some letter from him which was like sealed, and since he died, that letter's I mean, I
thought they
guess
unsealed
come
it.
out and
I
it's
thought-
going to be
I thought they unsealed documents already.
I don't know. I haven't had a chance to look into it yet, but from what I've heard, there is a letter, and I think we're just still waiting to find out what was in that. So I don't know. Maybe he has some letter with some stipulation if he dies under some suspicious circumstances that it should be open. Ooh.
I'm interested in hearing more about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look more into it.
Yeah, I started
Kind of,
Googling it, so I got quiet for a second here.
No
I
problem.
can't. There's nothing that immediately pops up when you type that in. But yeah, hopefully more information comes out and we can have a resolution as to what the hell happened. But
Yeah.
see.
I mean, I'm very curious. I don't want to, push a conspiracy much farther, but I do find it very odd when taking in all the information that
somebody
that I've
who is
heard.
a high
High profile.
notorious, high profile criminal is given such freedom that he's able to take his own life. That is very, and who has the information against people who have a lot of power in this world.
Yeah.
Mysteriously commit suicide.
Wasn't he just like lined up for a hearing which he was supposed to, spill the beans on everything too? Didn't that just get set and then the next day he was dead?
I don't know. They should probably also send some proof of him actually being dead.
It's all fake. He's still alive.
Who knows?
He's going back to Pedophile Island.
I don't want to go into the conspiracy mode, but
Me neither.
yeah, it's that kind of information.
Anyways, what else you got? Anything else interesting you've been
Nope.
listening to, looking at,
I mean, I have
thinking about?
been listening to some stuff. I've been listening to a few podcasts off camera with Sam Jones, probably the main one, and obviously Dan Lebatard show. That's the daily listen. But other than that, I think that's a wrap on this week's podcast. What do you say? Anything you want to conclude with?
Okay. So I did do one random thing. This Sunday, I was like, okay, so I had studio monitor headphones, right? So the padding around the ears is kind of coming off. So every time I wear them, like I get like the black like specks on my head. So I've always got to brush it off. Yeah, so it sucks. So I just kind of woke up and I'm like, I'm gonna go buy some headphones today. And I did. I went down to Wells, got some coffee, did some work, came back, and then I went to Guitar Center and I was looking at their headphones for about a couple hours.
Are those the headphones right there?
Picked up a pair. What'd you say?
Are those the headphones right there?
Yeah, I'm wearing them right now, dude.
Dude, is that velvet?
It is. It's felt on the inside. So instead of having that like fake leathery stuff that comes off, it's so soft.
Headset.
Dude, it's crazy. The headphones are handmade from Germany. Okay. They're open back headphones. They've got like nice metal pieces to it. They've got like the nice felt on the inside. It's weighted very well. Doesn't like clamp on your head too much.
Let me see those things, man. Take them off. Let me see.
Take them off. All right, hold on. Yeah. Put them in front of my camera here.
Not too much pressure on the top.
The felt inside that you can see there. For those who cannot see this, I'm stroking the inside of my felt headphones.
Zach can't hear me right now.
And this is the actual side of it. So you got the nice grills here. All this is metal. All this is leather. It's got gold dipped
auxiliary cable.
1/4-inch plug. Hold on, I can't hear anything yet. What'd you say?
I've been talking this whole time, but I know you couldn't hear me.
No, I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah, man, those are nice. Terrible for podcasts in the sense of like explaining it to people like this. It looks like this, but nice headphones. Hey, my birthday's coming up.
Oh, you want a pair too?
Yeah, let me know.
I mean, I spent about $200 on them, so they're pretty decent, honestly.
Yeah.
Every piece of these headphones, I can get like another piece made for it. Mm-hmm. Like everything comes off of these. I can replace anything on them if it breaks, which is already incredible. But the sound stage on these things are so incredibly wide. I can hear everything. If I listen to a song, like the instrument separation that you can hear, it's phenomenal. Like I've listened to a couple songs and I've heard things in those songs that I have never heard in any other situation.
What you're saying is the headphones are so good that when you take them off, you're just overall disappointed with your ears.
Dude, I am. This is like I listened to some music. I could literally like sit down with these things on and just listen to stuff for hours, and it does not hurt your ears, which is crazy.
That's a good marketing tagline, man. Headphones so good, you'll hate your ears when you take them off.
That is pretty good.
Ear loathing.
We should patent that. No, but ever since I've started listening to music with these, I everything else is lackluster. It's not as incredible as these.
Everything in life just isn't the same without my German handmade headphones. Food doesn't taste as well. Air isn't as airy. My sense of smell is incredibly reduced. I'm wearing these Beats, these Power Beats, but but now I hate them. After seeing your headphones.
Yeah, bro, you gotta. I'm just gonna like straight up buy you like the microphone I'm using with these headphones, so you can, and I'll get like another Focusrite.
Man, all right, man. I'm
just gonna have to hook you up with that. Just set it up. That way you can monitor yourself. You can sit there afterwards and listen to some music, and just 3 hours later you'll be like, dang, I've been listening to music for 3 hours.
Man, it's like the modern day Adonis story. Like you fell in love with your sound of your own voice instead of like your reflection. It's like, oof.
That's hilarious.
That's good.
But no, these are incredible for mixing, mastering, doing anything like that. I love them. But yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to show you these things.
Thanks.
Make you a little jealous. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Well, I'm not jealous because you're gonna get me a pair, so I'm not jealous. I'm happy for you.
Oh, okay.
But I'm glad that I don't loathe my ears right now. I like my ears. Right. They're treating me all right.
You'll like them for now until you hear these things.
Well, listeners, you may not have Zach's headphones, but you do have ears, and you do have your headphones. And thank you for listening to this episode of the Midnight Exchange.
Yes, this is the very late Midnight Exchange tonight.
Yes, it is. And we have officially exchanged from 12 to 1. And with that being said, this is Mario logging out. Zach, any final words?
Yeah, so if you want to find us on social media, you can find us on Twitter at THEME Exchange. It stands for the Midnight Exchange. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at the Midnight Exchange. You can go to our website at themidnightexchange.com, or you can send us an email at podcast@themidnightexchange.com. If you have anything that you want to say, any ideas or any topics you'd like us to talk about, feel free to let us know. But until then, you'll hear us in the next one.
Dope. Peace out.
Peace, guys.